basically, when I had looked online for a place, I needed to get into a place as soon as possible. So I went online, I saw some places, I called Waypoint, and I asked them, I said, so is everything on the pictures pretty precise to what I should expect at the house? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. We don't deal with false advertisement. So went ahead, put the money down so that somebody else couldn't get it. And when I moved in, the house was a mess. The guy that I had spoken to that had let us into the house, he basically said, well, they already paid them to clean the house and the house stayed vacant, so they're not going to clean it again. So we started cleaning the house, basically, before we started moving in. We start looking around the house and we start seeing mice droppings. There's trash all over the backyard. And then we notice that there's like all of these like Febreze plugins in every single outlet. So I was like, well, that's annoying. And I pulled them all out. And then we went to the house to get the old house to get our stuff. When we came back, the house reeked of animal feces, like pee, everything. And then so we started looking around more. There's cracks in the foundation where you can clearly see outside. There's insects. There were spiders everywhere. There was ants everywhere. Now there's wasps all over the backyard. So yeah, so the backyard also has no grass, and it was advertised with a nice yard, but there was trash everywhere in the backyard. So I call them and I do the walkthrough and I tell them, I'm like, okay, well, these are my concerns. Well, basically, the guy that had gotten us into the house, he's like, well, that's not my problem. You're going to have to contact somebody else. So I asked him, who should I contact? And he wouldn't respond. So I started calling Waypoint, the 1-800 number, and talking to maintenance and trying to get a hold of the property management for this town. And basically, they would send me to his line. It would go straight to voicemail, and the box was full. So I started calling all of these other people. I'm emailing, texting, whole 9 yards. Basically, what they tell me is, well, we're sorry about all of that, and you need to put in work orders. So my biggest thing, one, is the false advertisement, because what they said the house was going to be is not. I've been here since the 15th of April. And all I've had is nonstop maintenance people in and out of my house. I had 4 different people here this morning, so which is why everything was so hectic. And the maintenance guys, they're great, they're awesome, but they're not getting everything done that needs to be done. I've put in close to 20 work orders. My irritation with it is I've spoken to the neighbors, and the property, the guy that had initially got me into the house and set me up with the codes had told me that it was vacant for months. So why would they have not taken care of the smell, the trash, and all of that when they had plenty of time to do it before they had a tenant move in? I paid $4,000 in a deposit to move in. They made me pay the pet deposit and the pet rent. The people that were here previously had 7 dogs. So the backyard was completely trashed. The baseboards were chewed up downstairs. And now I have to deal with that. You know what I mean? The whole reason why people rent is to not have to deal with stuff like this, because that's what you deal with when you're a house owner. So I call them and I tell them, well, the yard is false advertisement. I said, there's a couple of options the way that I see it. I was like, we're happy to get the yard up to par for you guys, but maybe we should talk about you lowering our rent, because I got a quote for $4,000 to remove the trash and get it all leveled, because it's all mud. It's disgusting. It's like mixed mud and dog feces. So I told him, I was like, there's that. I was like, or you guys can come out here and do it, or I'm going to get the yard up to par because I don't live this way. And then when I leave, I'm just going to make sure I leave the yard the way that you guys gave it to me,